also wanted to know what was going on with free agency. What'd your Cowboys do? They
Nothing.
Big names?
Very little. That's their play. They're just going to sit there and watch. All right, but all sorts of things are going on. Legal tampering period began 24 hours ago. It's been a frenzy since. Nearly a third of ESPN's top 100 free agents have reportedly agreed to new deals. Free agency officially starts tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, begging the question, will anybody be left by then? More activity today, and for that we bring in our NFL insider, Adam Schefter. Let's start with Teddy Bridgewater. Yep. We're hearing he's expected to sign in pencil with the Saints, re-sign with them. What are you hearing about that situation?
Yeah, listen, he's spoken to the Miami Dolphins. He's spoken to the Saints. I think the Saints are expected to bring him back. The contract's not done. Look, the Miami Dolphins always could step in and make something change at the last moment, but the sense and expectation is that he'll be back with the New Orleans Saints, who gave up a third-round pick to the Jets last year to bring him in and get it done at that point in time. So, again, it looks like he'll be back in New Orleans. It's not done yet, but they're working on getting it done, and I think both sides are optimistic that it will get done in time.
He's a patient guy. I mean, he's the backup, obviously, in New Orleans. He would compete for a starting job in Miami, and it looks like for right now he's going to stay in New Orleans. The Packers apparently like 26-year-old outside linebackers named Smith. They have made a bunch of moves on defense today. Take us through them.
Yeah, it's essentially a remake of the Green Bay defense where they're saying goodbye to Nick Perry and Clay Matthews, who's a free agent, and they're bringing in all sorts of defensive talent at this point in time. Adrian Amos, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, Amos from the Bears, Smith from the Redskins, Smith from the Ravens. Couple of Smiths there in Green Bay. Look, this is a team that didn't get enough pressure on the quarterback last year, and now it's a situation where they are going to bring him in and basically get all these players signed. You see the numbers, you see the pressure that they got, you see the sacks, and those are the deals that they got, which mean that in the end, we do not expect to see Clay Matthews back in Green Bay, and we do not expect to see Nick Perry back in Green Bay. This is a defense that feels like it needs to get more pressure and make some things happen.
Both those guys, lifer Packers, and they may be moving on. Anything, before we let you go right now, anything you can tell us?
Have a great day, David.
Okay, Adam Schefter coming back later this hour, breaking down the latest in NFL free agency. I got to ask, Adam, you never know what you're doing there on your telephone. Here's some of the big names still out there. Of course, Le'Veon Bell, Earl Thomas. A bunch of safeties have come off the board. Earl Thomas is still there. Great ball-hawking, playmaking safety. Terrell Williams, who really came on as a wide receiver. And the center for the Broncos, Matt Paradis, also out there as a free agent.
All right, David. So Russ and the Thunder in Utah taking on the Jazz. Not so pretty history between Russ and the fans there. And last night, guess what? It reared its ugly head. He got into a heated argument with a fan, Shane Keisel. Take a listen to what Westbrook says to him.
I promise you, we are playing. I swear to God. I swear to God. You and your wife.
Earmuff kitties. Meanwhile, after it was all said and done, Westbrook and Keisel actually spoke out.
Young man and his wife in the stands told me to get down on my knees like he used to. And for me, that's just completely disrespectful to me. I think it's racial. I think it's just inappropriate in a sense of there's no protection for the players.
I just told him, I'm like, just sit down and ice your knees, bro. And he turned to me and he's like, that's heat. And I'm like, well, you're going to need it. And then it turned into not safe for work.
There's got to be something done. There's got to be some consequences for those type of people that come to the game just to say and do whatever they want to say. And I don't think it's fair to the players, not just to me, but I don't think it's fair to the players. And if I had to do it over again, I would say the same exact thing.
Arena security, players and fans have a shared responsibility to create a safe and respectful environment. If it is determined that any fans violated the NBA code of conduct, appropriate action will be taken. Let's flash back, shall we? Westbrook has a history, as mentioned. Game 6 of their playoff series 2018, walking off, appears to yell at a fan. For some reason, he tells security, get this guy. Another incident, same game, Westbrook getting into it with the fan again. They're trying to control Westbrook. Take a listen to what he said back in 2018.
Fans confront me. Here in Utah, man, a lot of disrespectful, vulgar things are said to the players here with these fans, man. It's truly disrespectful. Talk about your families, your kids, and it's just a disrespect to the game, man. I think it's something that needs to be brought up. And I'm tired of just going out and playing and letting fans say what the hell they want to say. I'm not with that, because if I was on the street, they wouldn't just come up to me and say anything crazy, because I don't play that. So I just think it's disrespectful when they get the chance to do whatever they want to do. It needs to be put to a stop, especially here in Utah.
Again in Utah, PTI's Mike Wilbon here with us to help us break it all down, put it in context for us. Last night, just by way of background, Westbrook's teammate, Patrick Patterson actually said this: fans can do essentially what they want. They can say what they want, and we as players can't really do anything, and we can't really respond. So I ask you this: you've covered the league for some time. It's an age but very valid complaint, in my opinion. Do you believe that it is the responsibility of the team/arena to police this, or should the league be more involved?
Well, Carrie, first, the team has to do it, because you've got law enforcement in the arena, and this is present. And the league is, where's the league? I mean, the league literally is New York. Can they have someone oversee this? The league has to work with teams, but I'm less concerned with the procedure than what is happening.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, Russell was very measured in these conversations. He was not, going off on wild rants. What I was trying to find out, looking up early this morning, was whether Russell had been involved in anything anywhere else. Is this contained? Is this exclusive? His issues with fans in Utah? And if so, why? We haven't seen Russell, to my knowledge, involved in these things across the league. So the league will have to get involved. The league can oversee this, but people in the arena, the teams, are going to have to be in charge initially and immediately.
But listen, I have to push back on that, Wilbon, because as his teammate Raymond Felton said last night, security's right there. Security sees this happening. Security allowed the fan to say whatever he needed to Westbrook. He only responded when Westbrook started to respond. What is the role of security and the team security? I'm not
in favor of security telling people what not to say. We just saw this with James Dolan.
Okay.
Right? I mean, fans do get to say what buying the ticket entitles them to that. Now, if it is something that is so vulgar or offensive of a racial, sexual, cultural nature, then security can say, no, that language is no longer allowed in this setting. But players, as somebody said, it was Patrick Patterson who tweeted,
yeah.
No, they can't just go at somebody for what they say. Fans are booing all the time. They're saying things all the time. Now, when it gets in a small space and you get in somebody's face and you're that personal, security has to be vigilant then.
Yeah.
And the league can't be, you can't call New York. The league, the team has to monitor that. Now, the league can oversee it. The league can call the Utah Jazz and say, this is inadequate, and we will take this over if you can't do a better job.
This particular fan has a history. He's an isolated incident. However, okay, so you said fans have the right to say what they want. That's what that ticket says. If I get a ticket, and that means I'm sitting right behind, say I'm a Laker fan, and I'm sitting right behind the Clipper bench, I have the right to say whatever I want to, except for if it's derogatory. Who determines that? Why is that so subjective?
Because it is subjective, and who determines it?
I mean, because they can't, these people are human, are they not? Do they not have the right to sometimes explode?
It depends. Where's the line? I mean,
I'm asking.
And the explosion, no. There's got to be a certain discipline. You know that when you're in this business. It's part of your job to know where the line is. And I'm not saying Russell crossed it, by the way. We're talking philosophically now.
Sure.
Fans get to say pretty much whatever they want. You can't scream fire in a crowded building.
This reminds me of the role that we have as on-air talent. We can't respond to tweets any which way we want to, correct? Take it. I understand that. But do you believe in this case, if Westbrook is fined,
well, I don't want to jump to him being fined yet. There's got to be an investigation, because I want to know what was said that I can't hear.
Right.
There's stuff said all the time. And they're going to have to investigate that fan. They're going to have to talk to people around that fan to see what that language is.
That's a game of telephone.
What does that mean?
That means this one person's going to say he didn't say it, the other person's going to say he did say it.
That's what investigation is.
Okay, so at the end of the...
getting to the bottom of this and finding out what that fan's deal is. Historically, that night in specific instances with Russell Westbrook. And it's tough. It's not easy. But you know what? Fans aren't going to stop. Would you have them not boo?
No, of course not. But that's a part of what we do.
Have I seen you boo some USC
You
people
have
at
seen.
UCLA
You
games?
have seen. I am not a good fan.
Yes, you are.
I'm
You
kidding.
are a good fan.
I tease. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining
you.
us. You're such a
For having
pleasure.
me.
Hopefully you get to hang out with us again this week.
Anytime you want.
All right. Coming up next, folks. Guess what? We'll see Westbrook on ESPN tonight. Hopefully a little less heated environment. Wednesday doubleheader. Starting in OKC with the Brooklyn Nets, continuing their playoff push against Westbrook and the Thunder at 7 Eastern. Then it's off to Houston for a great matchup between Steph, KD, and the Warriors. Is KD playing? I don't know. James Harden and the Rockets. Both games right here on ESPN. You don't want to miss it. Are you on countdown? Yes or you don't know? Maybe. All right.
Not to LA. I don't know what's going on.
Mike Wilbon, folks. Back to you.
Carrie's booed me at times during the show. Coming up, Tiger gearing up for the Players' Championship. Our caddy on how he's recovering from that neck issue. Plus, Booger McFarland joins us live with the defensive moves he's liked most so far and what's happened to the Ravens' defense. Plus, we've just heard of another move. Stay with us.